I'd like to welcome you all here this evening to the Man Arts Centre for this very special occasion, the launch of Kieran's latest publication, Youghal, from the History Press Ireland series of Ireland in old photographs. Kieran, I'm both honoured and humbled that you've asked me here this evening to launch this absolute gem of Youghal's living history.
Kieran, you officially launched the book tonight.
Yeah, Jordan, I was absolutely, as I said, even there tonight, humbled and really honoured to launch the book. Kieran asked me a few weeks back and he said I was thrilled to do so.
Really great turnout here tonight as well.
Packed room, standing room only, so I think it's a tribute, I suppose, really to Kieran, the community and the effort that he put in coordinating everything. So Kieran he's loved within the town and he's done a fantastic job on this book.
We've got a very rich history, so there's plenty for us to sell in terms of, encouraging people to visit the area.
Absolutely, and even Kieran actually talked about it as well tonight, that we're really tying in now with Fáilte Ireland. They've really identified a key target market for this part of the country, the culturally curious, who really want something off the beaten track,
sure,
to look at the hidden gems, and I think what we're actually offering in Youghal really ticks all those boxes.
Now, you touched on it there in your presentation speech about the ancient East.
Yeah.
Youghal has actually been included in that initiative, has it?
Absolutely, and the funding that we've gotten for the Clockgate Tower from Fáilte Ireland is one of the reasons for that we're included. So, it's not just capital funding for the clock tower to reopen that. It now means that we're on their list basically for signage, for guidebooks on the website. We're there. We're on their list now. We're on their radar, which we've been fighting to get on that for so long. But it's in their best interests now to market us and to look after us, to bring the familiarisation trips, to bring the journalists, all of that. And it's because, I suppose, the one key thing was to get the Clockgate, the funding, and there's so much else follows on from that.
In this case, and I speak very humbly, I hope they judge the book by the cover, because I had nothing to do with the cover. But the cover is very clever. It's Photoshop, it's computer, but it's a beautiful cover. And so please judge the book by the cover. But it's a Horgan photograph, and Jim Horgan was able to identify the children who were in the front of the cover. They're actually McCarthy children, and he recognised it was originally a black and white. But those Horgan photographs have really stood the test of time. They're amazing photographs, better than some of the modern colour photographs. The detail, and when you think they started with a small black box with a pinhole and glass plates, and those glass plates still survive today. It is an amazing achievement. And I think the Horgans would have been proud of that front cover, because they themselves loved to mess with their photographs. So one of the photographs in the book is making Youghal look like Venice. They took a photograph and another photograph and merged them. That's the kind of thing they did. They loved dressing up. They loved putting bridges where there were no bridges. They had all sorts of fun. And they really took the technology. When you think about it, they actually made, I think, I don't think it's going to be challenged, the first movie in the world was made by the Horgan brothers. It is just, when you think about it, a family in Youghal doing that, and we're talking about 100, 120 years ago, it is very magnificent. And the ability to actually manipulate images as they were doing, to create a cartoon of the Clockgate dancing over the Ardmore. It's fabulous. They should be on their own. Actually, there should be a book on their own.
Here at the Man Arts Centre in Youghal for the launch of the book entitled Youghal, and delighted to be joined now by the man behind the book, I guess you could say Mr. Kieran Groeger. First of all, Kieran, many congratulations. I'd imagine it's a real great thrill when you see it, it was a physical copy of a book, all the notes are gone, the book is completed, it's ready, it's launched.
It's a huge one, and the publishers, they have a special guide to design the cover, and they took a lovely Horgan photograph, which was a black and white, and they used Photoshop, and they did the most beautiful cover. The back cover is a Lawrence collection photograph, but again, they've with lovely sepia effect. It gives you a special thrill to see it.
And this is book number 3 for yourself, Kieran.
Yeah, I mean the last year's book about James Cotter and the terrible trial. It's a totally different kind of event, and the first one then, which is about Youghal in terms of the heritage, that was absolutely a pleasure to write as well.
You're a key member of the Youghal Celebrates History group, so I'd imagine the work you've been doing with that group has led to this being formed. Was that the spring step for it?
Well, the spring step was spending my childhood in Youghal, summer holidays in Youghal, which was a great experience. But 15 years of conferences with Youghal Celebrates History, you learn a lot.
Some magnificent photographs. Just in terms of putting it together, how difficult was it or how straightforward was it? Because I know with your last book you had to travel far and wide.
Well, this one actually people were giving photographs to me. The hardest part was cutting down the photographs to just 200. But once you organise, say, I'm going to do something on schools, on sport, on the Moby Dick, suddenly your job is in little chunks that is easy to manage.
And it covers you all through, I suppose, a whole host of different eras.
Well, yeah, I mean, effectively the 20th century,
right,
from 1900 to say 2000. That's kind of the era, because we didn't have photography really before that.
Yes.
And now we're into an era where everybody has phones and everybody's taking photographs and selfies and all sorts of things. You know, there's loads of them, but in fact there weren't as many photographs then in the early days.
Sure. So there's not a lot of reading involved in it. It's mostly a photograph book, a picture book, if you will.
Yeah, but there's a text linking the photographs. There's a story bringing you through, explaining the background. So, for example, there's the famous Campton gates, where they say the British Army stole gates in China and brought them back to Youghal. The story, there's a little bit of the story in there, so people can still go off and find a little bit more. Yes. But there is a narrative and a caption for every photograph.
Absolutely. I'd imagine people living abroad now will really enjoy this one.
I hope so. I mean, if we brought visitors to town, it would be great. You know, I mean, that'd be fabulous, because we have an amazing town here.
Absolutely so. Any other ideas you have at the moment for future books or publications?
I'm heading off to London to do a bit of research. We have some amazing graves in Youghal. So there's a kind of a nucleus of an idea for tales from the graves coming through. Watch the spot.
Okay, well, I certainly can't wait for that one. A really great turnout here tonight, Kieran. It's really good, I suppose, to see the locality come out and support the book.
Well, you see, I think that Youghal is beginning to come together as a town. Like in the past, the town didn't talk to the beach and the beach didn't talk to the town. Now, bit by bit, the various voluntary groups are coming together, and the future of the Youghal will be together.
Michael, you were here yourself a few weeks ago to launch your own book. I mean, you know what's required in putting a book together. It looks as if Kieran has done another fine job with this one.
Yes, it's lovely. I'm delighted with it. And I'm particularly delighted that he gets such a big crowd, because unlike me, I've been at it a few years, I suppose, but he's new, and to bring a crowd like that, I mean, he filled the place, which was marvellous. I'm delighted for him, because as you say, I know exactly all the work that goes into it, and it's a great reward, very encouraging to see a crowd like that.
Mike, as a local historian yourself, I mean, did you learn anything new from the book?
I did. You're always learning. I mean, the guy who says he knows it all is a fool. Yeah. Nobody knows it all. And we're all learning all the time. And you see, this is basically a book of old law photographs. And I've never done, I've had 16 books, and I say that now humbly, but realistically, I've had 16 books, including 2 children's books, and I've never done a book of photographs. They're always mostly text interspersed with photographs. Yes. But this is almost entirely photographs, and he explains them very nicely. And they go back, of course, over 100 years to Horgan's time and that. And very interesting now for anybody from Youghal abroad.
Some of the favourites that stand out, some of the photographs that stand out from reading the book.
I suppose like that now, the Moby Dick ones stand out a lot. What stands out as well is, I'm old enough now, I'll be 72 in April. What stands out for me is like the Mall, the Devonshire Square, old photographs of the town, places that have changed, like the Market Square and that now. Houses have been demolished. I remember the Elstree Arms Hotel and places like that, and they're not there any longer. And when you see an old photograph going back 60 or 80 years of a procession or something passing those places, and you say, gee, yes, I remember that, and it brings back a lot of memories.